Hello and welcome to this episode of Sanskar Yoga. So today I thought we'd try something a little bit different, which basically means it relies on your listening and sort of transfer of information to the physical body. So it's actually a really good practice to learn how to relay those cues and to um, translate it to how we move and how we create the space. But at the same time, it's brilliant if you just have a phone or like a small screen that you're trying to follow a video on, that if you can hear what I'm saying without needing to see, then that's also great for practice. So we're actually going to do a relatively simple flow with that um, real focus on sustainability of movement, but also this feeling of like conscious placement. So, exactly where we're putting our hands, how we're putting our hands down, for example, and then how we move between each pose is also integral to this practice. So, kind of slowing things down in order to create a very conscious and a very precise way of moving. So we learn to gain sort of more control and more awareness as we move. Okay, so we're going to make a start seated. So just take a moment to ground down through the sit bones. Maybe kind of move the flesh away from the buttocks and flex out through the feet so that the legs are still switched on. So we're not sort of passive in this seat. Allow the backs of the hands to rest onto the tops of the knees, or you can draw the palms down if that feels right for you at this moment. Maybe take a mudra with the hands and just start to notice your breath. You might take a deep breath in and sigh the air out. Perhaps taking two more like this, inhaling through the nose, exhale through the mouth, inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. Okay, so allowing the breath to feel a bit more natural. And just placing the awareness as to how the body moves with the breath as we start to activate the breathing more into the stomach. Seeing that slight lift and rise through the stomach and the diaphragm and into the ribs. And then as you exhale, just allowing it to come back towards the spine. So we don't want the breath to feel forced in any way. It wants to feel fairly natural. That we're filling our container in the torso with this nourishing and cleansing breath without forcing or struggling. So in yoga, we want to create movement that feels fairly free. You move between the movements with the breath. So we don't want to bring any tension to the breath, as well as we don't want to bring any tension to the movement. So finding the balance between the effort put into the movement and also the ease found in the stillness of that movement. It's more here about guiding the intention and the awareness to the breath. So often we kind of go through our day without really thinking about our breath, or perhaps even without thinking much about our bodies. So the mind kind of starts to take over and guide us as to where we need to go, what we need to do. And the body is more kind of a backseat, it's a vehicle for our mind to be able to go to these activities, to be able to do things. So try to make this space and this time for your body. So the body gets to kind of have its voice within the practice. It gets to give us feedback and communicate perhaps things that we don't always want to listen to. There might be some physical pain, or there might be some places that feel a bit more stagnant. Be gentle with these areas. So the body is trying to feed back to you something. Perhaps there's an old injury, perhaps there's some kind of trauma there in the body. So be gentle and kind to yourself if you find these places, these kind of sticking points. So just guiding yourself back to the breath. And just simply with a breath in, we're going to release the arms and then expand the arms either side, bring them up towards the sky. Gently press the fingertips together in prayer and then exhale, turn the palms away and swim the fingertips back down. So a couple more like this, turning the palms up, really gather the air in between the palms, in between the fingers, press the fingers together and exhale, draw the palms back down. So once more, just beginning to sync the breath to the movement. And then exhale, bringing the palms back down. Pressing the fingertips down either side of the hips here, still getting that sense of grounding through your sit bones. Begin to walk your left hand away. So think about moving up and out through the side to the waist as that left palm walks away. And then find a place to plant the hand, somewhere that feels reasonably comfortable and that your right sit bone, stays rooted. And then inhale to sweep the right fingertips forward and then up and overhead. So you're finding this opening, this twist, extending through the right fingertips and opening up through the right side rib cage. You can turn the gaze up or keep the gaze forward, keep the back of the neck long. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Sweep the right fingertips back down in front and gently walk the fingertips back up to the center. Once again, root down with all 10 fingertips next to the hips. You might bend slightly into the elbow, keep the collarbones broad, and then begin to walk the right fingertips away. Again, lengthen both sides of the body. Find a place to plant the palm, keeping your left sit bone down. Inhale to sweep the left fingertips forward and up overhead. Stretch through the fingertips. Find an opening that's kind of just right, so you're hitting a little bit of stretch, but you're not kind of forcing. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the fingertips forward and bring the right fingertips back. And then bring the fingertips down in front of the knees. Start to walk the fingertips away from the body. Think about the hips hinging, so the sides of the stomach start to arrive towards the thighs. Press down through the fingertips so you're keeping the palm hollowed, lifted away. And draw the crown of the head forward. So a nice long line through the vertebrae of the spine. As you press through the fingertips and the hand draws forward, at the same time the arm is pulling back into the heads of the shoulders. Broaden that space between the heads of the shoulders and lengthen the sides of the neck. Inhale and exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Take one more breath in, nice and nourishing, cleansing breath. And exhale, walk the hands all the way back up to the knees. Then just start to make your way over into tabletop. So in tabletop, you want the hands underneath your elbows and the elbows underneath the shoulders. The knees hip distance apart underneath your hip points and pressing down through the tops of the feet. And then start to draw the tailbone back, lengthen the crown of the head forward. So what we want to establish is a lengthened, an active tabletop position. So take a deep breath in. Imagine the crown of the head traveling forward whilst the tailbone draws back. So we've got those counter forces at play here. Try and draw the lower rib cage towards the back body and smooth it down towards the hips. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Inhale. Begin to lift the tailbone, curl up through the vertebrae of the spine to arch the back. Keep the gaze coming forward so the back of the neck stays long. And then to initiate that rounding, bring the chin to the chest, round in between the shoulder blades, going all the way back to the tailbone. And then once again, initiating that arching tailbone to lift, waving through the vertebrae of the spine, lifting the heart forward along with the gaze. And exhale, chin to the chest, rounding between the shoulder blades and coming all the way back down to the tailbone. So just continuing this with your breath in and with your breath out. So once again, keeping that space between effort and ease, finding some fluidity of the breath to the movement. Maybe they can match each other. Really just starting to open up into the spine, finding the breath in the back body. Perfect. So finish up with a rounding posture and come back to that engaged tabletop position. Press now into the tops of the feet. I'm going to try and hover the knees away from the mat. So in order to do this, you need to keep some lower core engagement. Deep breath in and long breath out, smooth exhalation. Inhale. Exhale. Deep breath in and long breath out. Bring the knees down and take them nice and wide. Send the big toes together. Now bring your tailbone back to the heels. Keep the chest lifted. Come up onto your fingertips and walk them forward a little bit more. So as you start to bring the chest down into Balasana, child's pose, you keep the length through both sides of the body. Expand through the fingers. And then perhaps the forehead can connect to the ground, keeping the elbows lifted. So we've got that long line of stretch through either side of the body. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, keep the tailbone moving back. And exhale, send the gaze up in between the thumbs. Lift your hips. And we'll come to tuck the toes and make your way into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. tailbone lifting high to the sky. And just start to kind of find your way in this pose. So if it's your first downward dog of the day, perhaps walking out through the knees, shaking out through the head and the neck, and just taking this time to establish your conscious placement of your hands and feet as well as the weight distribution. So nice deep breaths, send the lower ribs up to the hips. And exhale, bring the gaze up in between your thumbs, bend your knees and walk the feet really small steps all the way up in between the hands. So you're going to keep that bend in the knees, the chest coming down onto the thighs. Extend the arms forward and sweep them all the way up as you lift your torso, keeping it nice and long, to stand. Come right up onto your tiptoes now, just for a moment. Try and keep the balance, keep the length through the sides of the body. Exhale, bring the heels down. Allow the arms to come all the way down along the side of the body, Tadasana. Have the feet hip distance apart. Keep a little space in between your toes just by fanning them out nice and wide. Feel the even weight distribution. Turn the palms to face the wall in front of you. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, bring the palms together. Inhale, send that prayer all the way up overhead. Now separate through the palms. Reintegrate the arms into the shoulder sockets. Bring the palms to face forward, keeping that long line through the back body. Fully fold over the legs. Bend the knees as much as you need to in forward fold. Inhale, step back with the right foot as far as you can. Take your knee and the top of the foot down. Inhale to press into the fingertips and lift the chest. And then take the hands up onto your left thigh. So take a moment here, just establish that sense of grounding. And then inhale to lift your right arm up along beside the ear. Try and reach through the fingertips, so it's like the chest can open up with that lift of the palm. Take a deep breath and exhale. Inhale, option here to tuck the right toes and imagine there's a cord running from the crown of the head. Slowly lift up with that back knee into a high lunge variation. Inhale and exhale. Deep breath in. Then on the exhale, bring your right arm to outside the left thigh. So two options here. You can do this in low lunge as well. You could take your left hand to the small of the lower back, or you could bend at that right elbow and bring a prayer towards the heart. So finding a twist through the torso, the legs feeling nice and stable to allow that twist. Inhale. And exhale. Release the hands from wherever they are. Place them nice and consciously to frame the front foot. And then come to step it back into plank pose. Consciously here, bring your knees down. Keep the torso long, so we're engaging the navel back towards the spine, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears, and then bend through the elbows to slowly lower the torso all the way to the ground. Untuck the toes, press through all 10 toenails, so your kneecaps lift into your thighs. And then inhale to lift the heart space forward into a small cobra. So deep breath in, Long breath out. Inhale and exhale. Gently bring the chin back down. Retucking your toes here. Keep the knees down to the ground. Press into the hands to lift the torso in one long line. And then make your way back into downward dog. Take a nice full breath in and long breath out. Inhale, come to lift the right foot towards the sky. Exhale to bend the knee and stack the hips open towards the left. Keep the weight even in your hands and the integrity of downward dog pose. Inhale and then exhale. Bring your knee towards your nose. Step the foot in between the hands. I'm going to plant the left heel down and the toes so it's parallel to the back short edge of your mat. So 90 degrees if you're just working without a mat. Take the hands inside the right foot and start to walk them diagonally over to the left. So you're stretching your torso over to the left, grounding through the fingertips. At the same time, keep the grounding through the right foot and the right knee roughly over your heel. So opening up that hip. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Walk the hands back in. Place them now inside the foot and come up onto your left tiptoes. Place that knee down and perhaps walk the right foot a bit further over to the right. So you're going to arrive into your variation of lizard lunge. You might come down onto the left forearm and then the right. You might untuck your left toes or keeping them tucked or that leg lifted. Deep breath in. Long exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So keeping the breath smooth, inhaling. And exhale. If your left leg is lifted, come down with your knee. If the toes are untucked, just tuck them for a moment. We're going to lift up that left knee, slide it forward as you come onto the top of the left foot. Begin to shift your hips back now so that your left leg is at roughly 90 degrees with the bent knee and the right leg is also at 90 degrees lifted. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Coming back up onto the palms if you've come down onto your forearms. Tuck the left toes, step them outside of your left hand. So making your way to Malasana Yogi Squat. Take your toes slightly turned out. You might stay down on your heels or you might lift the heels here. If you've got a pillow or blanket nearby, you can use that under the heels. The main thing here is to find some length through the spinal column. Keep drawing the shoulders flat down the back, lengthening the crown of the head up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Take one more breath in. And exhale. Bring the palms down. Bring the toes now to face forward and then lift the hips up, arriving in a forward fold. Just bringing the feet back to hip distance. Maybe bend the knees as the chest folds forward. Inhale. And exhale. Come to step it back with your left foot. Bring your knee down and the top of the foot. Press into the fingers. In your low lunge, draw the heart space forward. Inhale, bring your hands up onto the right thigh. And then extend the left arm up, so it's along beside the left ear. Reach through those fingertips as the arm retracts back into the shoulder socket. Deep breath. Find some lift here. Find some resistance in your right thigh so it keeps pushing towards the right side. Inhale. Exhale. So next option is to tuck your left toes and imagine that long line running from the crown of the head as you lift up into high lunge. You can stay in low lunge as an option. Take a deep breath and then exhale. We're going to swing the left arm to the outside of the right thigh. Right hand coming to the small of the lower back, your lumbar spine. So you can stay here with that small twist through your torso. Try not to kind of force or rely on the arms to create a twist. The other option is to take a prayer by the heart and find maybe a little bit of a deeper twist by relying on the muscles around the rib cage. Inhale, exhale, deep breath in. And long breath out. Find your way back to center to plant the palms to frame the foot. Step back into plank. Bring your knees down. Keep that long line through the sides of the waist, the stomach drawing back to the spine, and then slowly lower through half plank push-up. Bend the elbows all the way down and come to the ground. Take the tops of the feet away. Bring the palms so that the palms are facing up towards the ceiling. And then bring the chin down to the ground. Start to open up through your collarbones. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. Press into the tops of the feet so the legs are active. And then draw the legs together. Inhale to press into the tops of the hands as you lift the chest. Exhale, bring the chin down. Inhale to lift. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale to lift, this time Shavasana variation, perhaps lifting the feet away. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. Deep breath in. Long breath out. So inhale, imagine that long line of energy coming up from the stomach. Exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, lower the chest down, the chin. Take the palms underneath the shoulders. Retuck your toes, but keep the knees in contact with the ground. Come back up the way we came in. So press into the hands to push yourself up. And then find your way into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Deep breath in. Find your stability. Exhale. Inhale to lift the left leg to the sky and exhale to bend the knee and bring that heel towards your right hip. Deep breath, try and find even weight in the hands. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Deep breath, bring the knee back to center, knee towards the nose and step the foot in between the hands. Plant the heel down with the toes so that foot is 90 degrees to your left. Bring both hands inside your left foot. Try and keep that knee at 90 degrees as you claw the right fingertips over to the top right diagonal corner. Inhale to reach the crown of the head forward. Keep anchoring back through the hips. Keep opening up the left inner thigh.
Inhale, keep grounding through the outer edge of the right foot. One more breath in. Exhale, walk the hands back. Bring both hands inside the left foot. Come up onto the right tiptoes. And then toe heel the left foot further out to the left. Make your way into a lizard lunge. So you can stay where you are up on the palms. You might experiment with bringing your right forearm down and then the left. So one forearm down is absolutely fine. Try and find some length through the upper body. Take any variation with the leg and the foot that you would like. Breathing deeply, opening up into the hips. It's allowing some of the muscles and the tissues to kind of let go here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Keeping the forearms down if they are. I'm going to tuck the back toes and bring the knee down wherever you are. Pick up the right knee, slide the knee forward so that you come onto the top of the foot now, toes down. And then shift the hips back. So you probably start to feel a bit more activation into the outer left hip, perhaps into the IT band. Breathe deeply. Brilliant. We'll take another full breath in. And then exhale. Make your way back up onto the palms. Tuck your right toes. Step that leg forward to come into Malasana once again. Take which variation you need to try and lengthen up through the spine. Bring the hands to prayer. As you do this, I don't want you to force the legs apart with the elbows, but just have a little bit of pressure here. Try and use your knees to open up the hips more than the elbows. So now that we've established that the legs are also creating that kind of resistance and opening, we're going to extend the arms forward. See if you can find a little bit more height at that space in between the shoulder blades. So lifting up tall through the spine. Take a deep breath in and long breath out. Inhale, swim the right fingertips around the outer right shin. Press the palm down wherever feels available and extend the left arm up towards the ceiling. So it can be over slightly diagonal here. Deep breath. Roll open the left part of the rib cage. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, coming back through center and then swimming the left fingertips around and extending the right arm up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, bringing both arms extended forward. See if you can turn the toes now to face in front of the heels, front of the room. Come up onto your tiptoes and draw your thighs out parallel to the ground. And then trying to keep some focus on something that's not moving in front of you. Focusing the mind, stillness. Slowly begin to come all the way up to stand on the tiptoes and then extend the arms up to the ceiling, palms facing towards one another, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale. And exhale, release your heels down, bring the palms together and down through the heart center. And release the hands. Brilliant. So making your way now somewhere on your mat, perhaps in seated, perhaps lying down. I'm just going to close with a short mindful meditation practice. So once you feel completely settled in whatever position that your body is calling for right now, either allow the eyes to gently come to close or the gaze to start to become hazy. No objects are standing out to you. Everything is merging into a general haze and background. And just notice how the breath is moving through you. No longer a conscious effort. Now the breath is effortless. It flows through you without you even needing to put any effort into trying. Start to allow the muscles to become a bit heavier, almost as if they could become a bit more pliable. The bones, the joints, feeling completely at ease and held. Allow your face to begin to relax, the jaw to relax, a softness in that space between your eyebrows. Start to notice that the breath can come in through the crown and then directly to that space in between the eyebrows. Breathing in through the crown to that space in between the eyebrows. So we start to gather this energy and this momentum in the very core, the very center of our brain. And then with the next breath in, taking the focus to the space of the throat. The next breath in, resting your awareness to breathing into the heart. And with the next breath in, to the space in the midline of the diaphragm. The awareness with the breath in, resting at the navel. Then to the pubic bone. And resting your awareness right at the root, so the perineum, the root of the body. And now as you breathe in, rest your awareness as if you're lighting up each of those places as the breath comes in. So it travels all the way up to the crown of the head and out through the crown. And then on the exhale, the awareness comes back down through those center points and rests by the root, that sense of grounding. So inhaling that sense of light, lighting up the spaces and resting at the crown. And then exhale, coming all the way back down from the crown and to the root. Breathing in like this just a couple more times.
Coming back to rest your awareness from the third eye center and back to that center of the brain. So inhaling to third eye center, breath running to the space behind it, and continuing that breath. Allowing yourself to absorb the benefits of this practice, of this breath. Take however much longer you would like to stay here. Namaste.